From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas, this is the Grandpa and Pappy Show. Yes, indeed it is.
Every time we key the money.
That's right, every time, and we're listening every time. Welcome in.
That's true.
Good to have you to the Grandpa and Pappy Show. I'm Grandpa. This here's Pappy over here.
How to do.
And we have a show every week that gives you, our great listeners, an opportunity to voice your opinions on the questions of the day that we pose on our Facebook group page.
The only one like it in the podcast world, amigo.
I think you are absolutely right. We read them, good and bad, whether we agree with them or not. We read them right here because every American's freedom of speech is very important to Pappy and I.
And might I say, after, this is what, show 181?
Yeah, 181 shows.
After 181 shows, I'm starting to understand why we're the only one. It's a slow,
trust me on that one, I know.
Slow go, ain't it? Slow go. But yeah, we enjoy doing it and hope you enjoy listening and participating. It's great to have you on board.
It really is. And to the new members we're getting in on our Facebook group page, welcome into you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate that very, very much.
As well as our show site on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
your
looking good.
Your marketeer's been busy.
We have a great show for you today. A lot of things to talk about, things going on in our world. Joe Biden's approval ratings are going down faster than Kamala Harris at a job interview. And
that's pretty fast.
But anyway, it is really going down, and he is not showing any signs of letting up. Yep. They're still fighting on Capitol Hill about the $3.5 trillion bill that they want to spend of your money and my money to make the illegals happy and the far left happy. There's all kinds of things we could talk about there, but they've kind of swept, Pappy, the situation with Afghanistan under the table because they don't want people to remember it.
That's a fact.
But a lot of veterans are coming out on the news show, and we'll be telling you about that in just a second. Yeah. But we're going to talk about the Afghanistan pullout and what it meant to this country and how you guys, our listeners, how it affected you and what you have to say about it.
Yep.
Let's take a look at some of what you guys had to say because they're quite colorful.
Already.
Jason Thompson said, as a former member of the military that served in Afghanistan, I am PO'd also. There are many people over there who risk everything to help us based on our promise to get them out, but look what has happened. Not only are Americans left behind, but those we made that promise to have been as well. We owe it to these people to get them to safety. There are private plans in the works, though.
Indeed.
And yes, there are a lot of plans.
That's right. Somebody will step up and save the day, by God. Patrick McDivick told us that the Biden administration is the platform of surrender. Surrender our progress in Afghanistan. Surrender American citizens stranded in a hostile territory. Surrender the identities and locations of our intelligence officials in the Middle East. Surrender our independence. Surrender our energy independence. Surrender our freedom to decide our own health options. Our border to anyone and everyone. Our Second Amendment rights. And our religious freedoms. Joe Biden should be simply remembered as President Surrender.
I like that.
Sweet surrender.
I like that, Patrick. That's very insightful. I like that.
It is.
And he's got a lot of good points there. I'm telling you.
And he just about hit every nail on the head with that one swing.
Bam.
Yep.
Right. How'd your dad used to do it? Boink.
Dink.
Yeah.
Dink.
Right in the side of the head.
That's right.
Debbie Armstrong Lowe said, I totally agree. Do you really know why we stayed so long? I'm not sure, but my son served in it for our country. One of my best friend's son was killed there.
Wow.
I believe they should have gotten people out, then bombed all of the military bases and the embassy so the Taliban couldn't get all of our equipment with our technology.
Yep.
It's another Vietnam. I am so mad.
Well,
Debbie, I agree with a lot that you said, and thanks to your son for serving in the military.
that's right.
And our condolences to your best friend
Yep.
who lost her son there. There was a lot of sacrifices made in Afghanistan.
There was.
And there was a plan in place by President Trump to get everyone out by a certain date in a very orderly situation.
Yep.
And if the Taliban, and he told them, he said, if you guys violate these terms, you don't cross a T or you don't dot an I or you don't use a comma when you need to, we're going to blast you into heaven.
That's right.
And they believed him. But then we got Sleepy Joe, and he forgot and decided he'd do it on his own. And now we're hearing testimony from some of these generals that they told the president that they needed to leave at least 2,500 troops there to make sure there was a very orderly evacuation from Afghanistan, and he would not hear of it.
Well, now...
And then President Biden is saying the generals told him there's no need. So, man, there's more lies there than a cheating husband. I'm telling you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. David Walker said David Walker said Jason Thomas said it best, or Thompson said it best. Man, I'm having trouble this morning. There are private plans to evacuate the remaining Americans and Afghan people who helped us. The funny thing is, there have been several plane loads leave Afghanistan, but American government will not allow them to land in our country or any of our allies' countries.
That's exactly right, and it pisses me off.
What the F? You thought I was going to say it, didn't you?
I did.
I, too, am a veteran who served over there. Thank you for your service, by the way, brother. And this administration screwed this whole thing up. If we would have just followed Trump's plan to withdraw, we wouldn't have been in this mess. Biden can't stand success, so he just eliminates all that is. There's my 2 cents for what it's worth.
It's a good 2 cents, too, David.
Very well said, David.
Absolutely.
And Jason, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of our military veterans who made promises to those that acted not only as interpreters, but also as an intelligence network over there. And they feel obligated, and they're using their own money.
That's right.
They're raising their own money to get these people out, and they are going over there clandestinely and getting a lot of these people out. But it was so right. David Walker was so right. There have been planes that have taken off out of Afghanistan with these people on them, and they can't get clearance to land in the United States, and the Justice Department will not let them land at any of our allies' base. Now, go figure that.
Well, I don't know about what they're saying over here, but over there they're probably going, this is much shitting of the bull. So, now not only do we have half the world pissed off at us, now the Afghanis are pissed at us.
No kidding.
There's a lot of them folks over there.
Yeah, good Lord, and it's still getting bad over there too.
It'll only get worse.
It will. Jerry Williamson says, so am I. And I hope Joe enjoyed his vacation while Afghanistan is being burned to the ground. John Stewart Price piped in to say, it ain't on you, brother, so relax. We'll have carriers with F-35s in there. We left behind land buoys, and we're dug in, literally. Mark Riley answered John by saying, say what? I don't know, John.
That would
no
be
disrespect, but
a little debatable.
I don't understand what you're referring to, because our president got us out of there as fast as he possibly could, no matter who he left behind or any of the circumstances. So if you are correct in that statement, John, then I am all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Paula Hicks Butler told us this is the worst administration this country has ever seen, and I'm ashamed of it.
Bingo.
Maddie Simpson agreed by saying that I am more and more convinced every day that Joe Biden is not in charge of this country, but is taking orders from someone else.
I agree with that.
Nancy
Who could that
Pelosi
be?
admitted it.
Yeah.
Say what, K-Bird?
I said Nancy Pelosi came out and admitted it. Because she stumbled and said, Biden's agenda.
Obama's.
Biden.
Biden.
Obama's
I guess you
agenda.
could call his administration Biden.
I mean, it was a Freudian slip that she said Obama. But,
That's hysterical.
interesting.
Yes, she did. I heard her do it on TV.
Yeah. Well, that's
Sure did.
just because Obama's pulling the puppet strings. She went on to say his caving into the left is another prime example of how he's destroying our beloved America.
And he is
I agree with
correct.
you, Paula. That's well said.
Just look at the two bills that are up there being debated on right now.
Absolutely.
That's all you have to do.
Yep.
Johnny Northcutt from Mountain Point, Texas, said this is exactly what we can expect from these clowns. They'll blame everyone else but themselves, but they're beginning to turn on each other. Sabrina Monk-Draving says absolutely true, and Cindy Gail Roberts-Thomas told Johnny, you're right, our country will implode from within.
Well, and that's what they're trying to do.
Who was it, the Russian Prime Minister, back there, Khrushchev,
yeah.
said, we will never attack America, they'll destroy themselves from within,
He,
and slammed his shoe on
that's
on the table.
That's what I was going to say. Like we couldn't
You
hear.
won't have to do nothing.
That's right. Melanie Renee Sisk agreed with Cindy Gail Roberts-Thomas by saying, I'm with you on this. Technology and computers are going to be used, and people don't even know it. We don't know anyone's phone number by memory anymore. We just let our phone do it for us. Hey, Siri, call such and such. Kids don't use their brains anymore. They just let Google do it for them. And that's true. I'm with my pops on this one, and I'm getting a feeling of being lost and hopeless that our country will be able to take back our morals and respect justice again to get civilization back on track.
Well, I'll tell you what it's going to take. It's going to take somebody with balls and someone with enough guts to say enough's enough.
It's going to take bloodshed is what it's going to take.
And I see that as a possible solution, because the average American, Pappy, is getting so fed up with having things shoved down their throat. And did you see where the Department of Justice is considering sending federal authorities to all of the teacher meetings?
Oh, yeah.
Teacher parent meetings of school boards, because the parents are arguing against what they're teaching their children?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Well, and I've got an inside line to, and I'm privy to getting group text from a bunch of buddies, I'll call them. And a lot of the agents aren't too pleased about that either.
Yeah.
Because they've got children in school as well.
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, what if somebody comes up to you when your boys were growing up and says, hey, we'll tell them what we can teach them, not you. Mm-hmm. I got a real good idea what you would have told them. Probably the same thing I would have told them.
It wouldn't have been nice.
No.
I guarantee you that. Yeah, that's much
We
crap's what it is.
We try to keep this as G-rated as we can.
Damn Skippy.
Finally today, Leslie Rosenthal said Biden is not the whole government like his behind-the-scenes staff make him look like on TV.
All right.
No, our government and military accomplishment did what they set out to do. For 20 years, they kept all of that region in check. I don't understand why you owe an apology to the veterans and those people. Now, let me tell you, Leslie, why that question was posed. Because there's many veterans that have come out and said they felt like they were betrayed by the government by how they pulled out, not the fact.
And they were.
that they pulled out, but how they went about it.
Right.
And we've had several of our opinions here express the fact that the government, the United States of America, made a lot of promises to those in Afghanistan that if you'll buck the system and work with us and serve as intelligence agents, as interpreters, work for us, we will not forget you. We'll get you out of here once and for all. And what happened? They're left there. Now they're getting sought out because the stupid Biden government gave them a list of all of our intelligence people over there, and they're seeking them out and killing them now.
Hanging them, yeah.
So, what can you say? It just makes me absolutely furious, and that's why, Leslie, I'm telling you that the government owes our veterans and the Afghani people an apology. They went back on their word, and it makes us all look like a bunch of chumps.
Yeah,
that's what it
and
does.
by the way, if you want to make reparations, Uncle Sam, start with our veterans.
Bingo.
They're the ones that take the big fall.
What you got there, K-Bird?
I have breaking news.
Okay.
I just got an email from Burgers for Baby committee member.
Yeah.
At last count, we are at $118,000 raised.
Wow.
And still counting.
Wow. That is
amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you,
That's
everybody
awesome.
who donated.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you guys are awesome.
And a big thank you again to Bridget Goddard, one of our viewers who stepped up and became a corporate sponsor, paying over $5,000 worth of services to us and spent a ton of money during the night of Burgers for Babies.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, Bridget. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. We're going to take a brief time out, and Pappy, when we come back, we're going to talk about all these people that did get out, that they flew out, the Afghanistan people, and how many of them were vetted, and how many of them are going to turn out to be terrorists.
Well, that and on the other hand, if all these Afghanis want to come to America, they ought to fly to Mexico. That'd be the quickest trip in.
Yeah, well, there's 30,000, I think, Haitians heading this way now, you know, if last count. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we will talk about, did terrorists sneak in with all the Afghanistans? First of all, let's take this time out for this word, and we'll be right back.
Yep.
Hey, did you hear from the real estate agent?
No.
Anything from the agent?
No?
Anywhere from the agent?
No.
Yes, yes, yes.
No. No. No.
And you're back.
And we are back.
Indeed.
Welcome back to the Grandpa and Pappy Show. Did the terrorists sneak in with all the Afghanistans that were flew into the United States?
Probably.
Yeah. What was it old Jed used to say? Doggies.
Doggies.
Let's take a look at what you guys had to say about this and what your feelings were. Jimmy Don Whitley told us this is a great question. The U.S. did evacuate several thousand Afghans and relocated them to our military bases.
Yeah.
That's a fact. How stupid is that? Most of these were not vetted before being allowed to enter the country. Now, there are reports that many are just walking out and integrating into the general population. I would bet that there are those who snuck into this country on these flights, and it's only a matter of time before we start seeing the mayhem start.
Yep.
I'm ready to fight. How about you?
Put 'em up. Put 'em up. Jerry Williamson told us, yeah, trusting Joe's people to vet them. Boy, I feel good about that. You know that's going to happen. Charlie George said it's already been stated that one had been flagged as a no-fly terrorist threat was evacuated before our citizens were.
That's right.
Who knows where he landed? Richard Jimenez said those are Obama's people coming in, and Cynthia Maddox said, God help us.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Paul Mason said on YouTube that the U.S. citizens had better be on alert because we just don't know the kind of people we've brought into our country.
Yeah.
That and the border crisis is enough to make you sleepless at night. I will protect my family and home at all costs, and I'll ask for forgiveness later. To say I'm very concerned is an understated statement from me.
Well, and as far as asking for forgiveness about going to war, even the Bible will tell you there's a time for war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's also a time for peace.
That's right.
Sandy Layla Armistead says our world is about to change. Get ready for war on American soil. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Taylor Reese agreed with Sandy by saying, I'm afraid you are correct. There are no preventative measures being taken to vet all those who are coming in. And to top it off, the left is trying to pass a $3.5 trillion bill that would ensure they have all the comforts of home, while Americans are still suffering. We had better be ready. Is our militia ready?
Good question.
And I'll put my money on the militia because they're always ready. That's why they call the
There's
militia.
so many veterans right now that are so well equipped, well armed because they can see it coming themselves.
They saw it coming with Nam.
Our buddy,
as a result of Nam. Yeah.
Our buddy Brian Emberton from Tennessee said there's an interesting 40-minute documentary called The Man from 3036. Check that out when you can. It's creepy, but so realistic with the facts of the future coming. Yep. It's a true story, too. Leslie Rosenthal told us that Timothy McVeigh was also labeled a terrorist, and he was born in America.
Well, there are crazy people, even born on this side of the fence, you know.
So are you saying, Leslie, that all Americans are terrorists now? Okay.
No, that's not what she's saying.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay. Marsha Williams posted a link to a news story saying that Afghans are walking out of our military bases in the U.S. each and every day, and they're not being detained. Monty Clark said, I read that article and everyone should take note of it. There's no telling how many of our new terror calls that will be created here in America if it is left unchecked.
I think that was terror sales.
Well, okay.
Have you been drinking?
We need tequila over here, please. Thank you very much.
Matter of fact, I have.
Okay.
Still am.
James R. Stanley said the Biden administration will handle it just like they did the 15,000 illegals under the Texas bridge. When the heat gets hot, they will go in there under the cover of darkness and ship them to all points in the United States without our knowledge.
Yep.
How many more damn illegals can we handle in this country without our economy and way of life being completely destroyed? Why won't politicians in Washington, namely the Congress, end all of this BS? It seems the Democratic congressmen are more afraid of Pelosi, AOC, and the far left than they are the voters in their respective districts, and I believe that.
Absolutely. And going back to the terrorist cells in America, if you remember correctly, when Obama was in the Oval Office, they had 5 large terrorist cells.
Yeah, they busted up.
Well, yeah, that was back when Biden was being hunted. I guess that's who created it. I don't know.
Well.
Anyway, they're probably still there, even though Biden's not.
Yeah, true.
James R. Stanley said the Biden...
Nope, we read that one.
Okay, well, it's so good, I might want to read it again. Orlando Wicks said on Instagram that we either stand up for our rights in our country soon or we'll fall to the socialist, communist agenda the far left has planned for us. We need to make our minds up now for when the time comes to either stand and fight or cow down to the wishes of the left.
Got a great point there, Orlando. You
Ain't
sure
happening in
do.
my house,
I'll tell you that.
You know,
We want to... I'm sorry, Karen, what do you have to say?
I agree with that. But how do you organize something like that? Because as you were talking about the parents, they're trying to stand up and they're getting shot down. I mean, the FBI and whatever. Yep. So who's going to orchestrate all of that?
Who's going to fill their
all
shoes?
the people together? Because it's going to have to be enforced, not just a few.
That's true.
Well, that's why I believe that it's going to take blood in the streets to straighten all that mess out.
That's very, very true. Yep. Very, very true. Yep. We thank you for all of your comments today, but right quickly, let's take a look at some of the viewer comments that we got in. Paul Grayson said our show on pet peeves was a hoot. He said his biggest pet peeve is people pretending to be more than they really are. It is pretty obvious to me, the ones who fall into that category.
Well, hell, I'm going to have to change my game plan. Many, many thanks to our new subscribers to the Grandpa and Pappy Show. We also picked up new viewers on our Facebook group page. Keep them coming. We'll tell you how to subscribe here in just a little bit.
Absolutely. Nancy Peterson asked us to find out whatever happened to those Texas Democrats who fled the state so they wouldn't have to vote on the new voter registration bill.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything about it. Thanks, and great show. I will tell you on an update, they did come back to Texas, and they were forced to go to the Capitol to vote, and that bill did pass.
Yep.
So there you go. There's the update on it. But thank you, Nancy.
How about that? And to close up this week's viewer comments on the Grandpa and Pappy Show, number 181, Tony Sinclair is a new subscriber to Grandpa and Pappy, and he asked why we haven't tackled the abortion issue anymore. It seems to me that if you're a conservative, it'd be only natural to talk about it more. I would like to hear your viewers' take on this subject.
Well, that's a very touchy thing right now, I will tell you, Tony, but that's a good question.
It would be a hell of a show topic.
It is. Yeah. And we may tackle that here in the very near future. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that.
Went round and round over that exact subject just night before last.
Is that right? Well, that's it. Hey, if you'd like to make a suggestion, a comment, or participate in the Grandpa and Pappy Show, it's very simple, easy for you to do.
Yeah.
You can get a hold of us at our email account, which right over my shoulder here, grandpaandpappy@gmail.com.
A very simple, pimple thing to do right
Absolutely.
there.
Or
you can hit us up directly on our show website page, which can be found at www.grandpaandpappy.com. That's grandpa with the letter N, then pappy.com, where you'll find a big old giant red button like this one that's fixing to pop in. See? Told you. Push it.
It's magic.
Subscribe. Won't cost you a thin penny or...
No, we don't charge our listeners.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
We'd love to have you join us, and you can join us also on our Grandpa and Pappy Facebook group page, which many of you have here in the past.
Yeah.
And if you go on there, you're going to be able to see 95% of all the comments that make this show.
Close to 3,000 in membership.
Based on questions that we have. Posed for the day. It's been fun today. Thanks.
It has.
Good show, Pappy.
Great show. And hey, it's your show. We just put it on, so thank you.
We sure do. It's a lot of fun for us.
Very interesting comments today.
Yeah, very interesting comments, and that's what this show is all about. It's about you,
Keep them
the
coming.
American people with a voice of your own, and that's why this show exists today.
Right. Stop being silent majority and speak up.
We always end our show the same way. We tell you to reach out and hug your kids and let them know you love them.
Let them know they're well loved right here at the Grandpa and Pappy Show too, by God.
Yes, sir. It doesn't cost anything to be nice to anyone.
That's right.
So until we talk to you again,
take care of one another.
Absolutely. It doesn't cost anything, like I said, and it'd be so nice for us to be nice to one another.
In a perfect world, by God.
In a perfect world.
I hope I find that cloud one day.
Yeah, maybe after I'm stopped breathing, you know.
For longer than 15 seconds.
Yeah. The utopia in the sky is what I'm looking for.
Just like Mom said, what do you mean you got a lot of questions for God? He's going to be the one asking the questions, boy.
That's exactly right. Have yourselves a good week, and we will talk to you on the next Grandpa and Pappy Show. Until then, God bless you. God bless America, and we'll see you.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.